Welcome back to the Alchemist Notebook. I'm your host, Dr. Clyde Winners, and tonight I have a real treat, a very exciting writer and researcher, Dr. David Imhotep, PhD, and I can tell you that it's it's not easy to get a PhD, so I'm excited to even talk about it. Dr. Imhotep, you know, I was looking at the first Americans were absent, documented evidence, and it's a very interesting cover. Who did that cover, or why did you make that cover for your book?
I made the cover. What the cover is, for those who can't see it, you can go to historictruths.info and see it. It's a picture of a black man. He looks like a brother out of Rock or out of New York City. However, it's a picture of the very first picture of a real, actual Native American that was taken in 1850 or 1872 or 3. It was part of the HMS Challenger, which is a boat that came from England going to passing by South America and going up into the Pacific, and they stopped at the tip of South America at Tierra del Fuego to fuel up with wood and food and water, and they enslavement, instead of saying the so-called Native Americans, you know, the woo-woo-woo Indians, black people, and they took a picture of him, and that picture of him hangs now today in the museum, Natural History Museum of London.
Oh wow, that's exciting, man. Because you know, now you wouldn't think that it was black people down that far in South America near the South Pole.
Yeah. Okay, we got the link right here. So yeah, so family finna come in the building. Oh, that's Al Power, man. That's Al Power, man. Y'all think you got the link already? Let me see. Yeah, I just sent you the link. I'm gonna send it again through the Hangout. Where y'all at, family? Where y'all at, man? I feel weird, man. What's going on?
No, I'm right here. I'm about to actually.
I know. I'm just fucking around.
I'm about to actually go do something. I got something I gotta do for a minute.
I'm finna try to call him one more time, family. I'm finna try. Oh, my bad. Wrong link. I'm finna try to call him one more time. This is the last time I'm gonna call him. If you know what I'm saying, if he don't pick up, then we're just gonna I'm gonna try to, set up, wait till he get his stuff together and set things up. So let me go ahead and get this last little run in, and hopefully he pick up and we can get a nice little conversation. I mean, he said it was going to be quick, so he ain't saying like no full-fledged interview. So he's just sending a signal out to the rest of the people and the rest of the world that that we know who we are. So
that's right. Peace, everybody. Peace. Al Power in the building, y'all.
Peace. AP, what's good?
What's going on, A1? How you doing, good brother?
You already know I'm cooling, my brother. What's up with you?
Man, just got out ripping and running.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
Where you?
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah. Yes. How you doing, ma'am? This is Tyron Vital calling from Data Communication. I had spoke to the doctor earlier, and I was just calling for a quick interview on our YouTube live stream we was gonna have with him.
Hold on. Hello.
Hey, doctor, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey, yup, this is Ty again. Sorry for blowing your phone up, but we have a, we have a, nice little audience, and for you, and we've been trying to call you because you the star of the show. So, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Talk to me.
So, well, we on the Chief Holiday show. Chief Holiday. We got Autochthonous one. We got Aboriginal power. We all self-claim indigenous people. First off, we want to know: do you claim indigenous? Do you consider yourself an indigenous person to America as well?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I've got I got different people in me. I know on my mother's side, Navajo. On my father's side, Arapaho. So I guess we just a bunch of hoes.
So,
But you know, also, you know, my let me see. My grandfather told me back that he was born 1885. The 16th child of slaves, and his older brother and sisters told him that their mom was brought over from Ghana. So
okay, so
that's what I like to talk about.
there's some African in there as well.
See 53 likes. Virginia, I see you in the house. All right, here we go. First, I would like to say about Dr. Imhotep. And while I'm talking about him, wait a minute, vote for Kai in the building. Well, I want to give a tribute to Dr. Imhotep. I want to give a story of how I met him real quick. Not in a disrespect when I say real quick, but we got a couple of things we want to talk about, but I'm making him the first thing I'll talk about today. I had read his book years ago, African American is Africans. And that book was given to me by one of my chief aides. We call him Stu. And Stu is part of the reading book club with us. So he bought that book and gave it to me for a gift. And I read the book. And there was dynamic stuff in there. If you haven't read it, you need to. But I had one problem with the book. I didn't like the title. And 2 years later, I was asked to speak in Georgia. And I go to Georgia to speak. And just so happened, when I came into the auditorium, the man on stage was Dr. Imhotep. I didn't know he was going to be there. So I walk in the door and I see him on stage giving a lecture about his book. And when I walked in, he just froze and stopped speaking. And as I would go to was on my way to my seat, he just turned with me. It was like he was hypnotized or something. And then he stopped in his speech and greeted me. He began to finish his speech. I followed him on stage afterward to give my story. When everything was over, he said, "You can't leave till we talk." And we began to talk. And the first thing I told him was, "I love your book, but I don't like the title." He laughed. He said, "Why you don't like the title?" I said, "Because I'm not an African." He said, "But aren't we all have some African somewhere in us?" I said, "What make you think that?" That's like saying everybody got Japanese or European in them. So we ended up spending some time together talking. And I told him that I was going to be on my way to Washington, D.C. in the next 2 weeks to speak on the voting right bill. And he said, "Well, I'm in Virginia. Stop by and give me a visit. I would like you to see my library." I'm speeding the story up, but I did go there. After leaving D.C., I stopped off in Virginia, and we had 1 or 2 days there with him. And we spent time in the library going through some stuff and talking about African American versus what it's doing to American Indians. And he told me he did not mean African as African, but African replaced the word black because people could identify with African as black, where people didn't want to identify with the blackness, or that was his only way to describe it, in other words, where people get understanding. I told him when professors do that, it puts a bad image into the world that is hard to erase. So I invited him to Louisiana. And when he came to Louisiana, he went back home after spending some time here. And he did a show with a guy by the name of, I think his name is Michael Imhotep. And on that show, he was saying, I've been down to Louisiana. I went to where the Indians is, and I was down in New Orleans. And I called him immediately. I said, you wasn't in New Orleans. You was in Beaufort. You was in St. Tammany. And he laughed. He said, well, I thought nobody would know where that was, but I know everybody know where New Orleans is. I said, and just like you did that, it erases my history. And I had to call and let you know, don't erase my history no more. He said, Chief, you keep contradicting my words and making me have to contradict myself because I got to be careful with the words I use. So to speak the story up, he was able to meet with people later on like Phoenix, Mr. Waldo, Will, and they also know he told us African was not African to him. It was a placeholder for the word color or something people would have identified with. So I'm here to say he was a good friend. We spent many days and hours talking by phone. And I want to tell y'all he was a good man. Last I talked to him, I think was about 3 months ago or less. And we talked for about 2.5 hours. But I could tell in his voice he wasn't himself. And he never complained. He never told me he was sick or any of those things. I guess he did not want us to worry about it. So I'm going to ask each and every one of you that's on here, can you please give him a rest in peace and some fire? He was one of the professors I was able to get to understand the indoctrination of the black scholars in universities into the African movement. And we used to have in-depth conversation about this. He returned back to Louisiana. He stayed again on a visit. His last visit, he was able to go and enjoy music with Will. So we feel that even in his departure, he have left a mark that we all will remember. He was one of the scholars who said, I've learned, Chief, we have to watch our words because our words can erase someone. So I want to share that, and we send him some rest in peace.